This is Friday Flow. Let's use a set of blocks for today. An optional strap. If you typically use a strap, you can grab that. We won't use the bolster for anything. We'll do a nice slow warm up and then we'll come into some standing poses and a mini flow. Go ahead and find child's pose, drawing your knees wide, sinking your hips towards your heels, really stretching your fingertips out long in front, actively reaching your fingers towards the top of your mat, hips towards your heels, focusing here on your breath, filling your belly, ribs, and lungs. Full exhale. Lungs, ribs, and belly. Continuing with that breath, deep inhales, deep exhales. Maybe rolling your forehead from side to side. Gently walking your fingertips over to the left side of your mat, maybe slightly off of your mat, and pressing your right hip in towards your right heel as you actively stretch your fingertips long to the left side. Feeling that stretch all along the right side body. Gently walk your hands back through center over to the right side of your mat, maybe slightly off of your mat. Actively pressing your left hip in towards your left heel, fingertips stretching towards the right side. Noticing how this side may feel different than the other side. Coming back to the center. For a tricep stretch, you can bend your elbows, bringing your palms to touch. If you would like to deepen that stretch, you can gently bring your thumbs towards the nape of your neck, maybe walking your elbows towards the crown of your head. You're still actively pressing your hips in towards your heel. Gently release your arms out long in front, directly above your shoulders. We're going to press forward, stacking our shoulders on top of our wrists. Heels in towards our glutes, lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend your legs, tap your toes. Bend your knees, heels in towards your glutes. Press up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press it back, full child's pose. Sinking your hips in towards your heels. Hold it here for a breath. Full exhale. On your inhale, press your hips forward, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Lower down for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Once you release all the way down, extend your legs, tap your toes. Bend your knees, pressing up for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sinking your hips back towards your heels. Let's do that one more time. Hold it here for a breath. Full exhale. Inhale to rise. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Exhale, lower down for 3, 2, and 1. Extend your legs. Tap your toes. Bend your knees. Heels into your glutes. Rolling up for 3, 2, and 1. Press it back. Child's pose. Sinking your hips back towards your heels. Maybe rocking your hips side to side. Gently rise up, finding your tabletop position, stacking your knees under your hips, wrists under your shoulders, maybe patter out your toes. From here, tuck your toes, lift your gaze, hammock your belly down towards the floor, deep inhale. Exhale as you untuck your toes, scoop and arch, round your spine up towards the ceiling. Come through neutral spine, tuck your toes, deep inhale, gaze up towards the ceiling. Untuck your toes, round your spine. Trying to lift your back an inch or 2 higher. Come back through neutral spine, tuck your toes one more time through. Inhale. And exhale, untuck your toes. After your full exhale, come back to a neutral spine. Maybe bumping the hips side to side. Maybe doing a few barrel rolls if that's comfortable for you. You can always bring your hands up, palm print forward for the barrel rolls. Hips towards your wrist, down to one side, up the other. And what you do in one direction, just switch From here, coming back to your tabletop, walking your wrists back under your shoulders if you have them extended. We're going to lift your right palm, pressing your finger pads in towards the floor and lower twice more. Lift the palms and lower. Lift once more for the right and lower. Hold the right hand down. Lift your left palm and lower, pressing your finger pads all the way into the floor, lifting your palm. Once more. All right, do it twice with both hands. Same time, lift and lower. Use your abs here. Lift and lower. Bump your hips back side to side. Gentle wrist stretch there. All right, starting with the left side. Lift your left arm high. Exhale, under and through the right side body. Let's do that once more. Inhale, lift your left arm high. Exhale, under and through the right side body. This time, releasing your left ear or cheek to the floor. You can extend your left arm long. You can also bind your left arm around towards your left hip to allow your right shoulder to open. Holding here and breathing for 3. Gently walk your right wrist under your right shoulder. Inhale, lift your left arm high. Exhale, release it down to your left hand. Extend your left leg straight back, deep inhale. Exhale, tuck your knee to your left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw that left leg over the outside of your right hip. Inhale, lengthen, straight back. Exhale, tuck your knee to your elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cross it over. Once more through. Inhale, lengthen, straight back. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw that left foot over the right side. Maybe this time gazing, looking over your right shoulder. If you would like to deepen that stretch, you can gently press your heel in towards the floor. If you want to lessen that sensation, you can rock onto your toes, the ball of your foot. Hold it here for one more breath. On your next inhale, with that left leg staying straight, we're going to draw it up and over all the way out from the left hip. Coming into gate pose, just going to turn so I can face you guys. Sealing the inside of your left foot in towards the floor. Your shoulders are still stacked directly over your wrist. Tuck your right toes. Press your hips back and forward. So that once more. Press the hips back and forward. Untuck your right toes and then press your hips back. Maybe extend your arms out long in front. Sinking your right hip in towards your right heel. Left leg is extended long from the left hip. From here, walk your hands in towards your knee. Rise up, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Sweep your arms up high overhead. Option to grab a block here if you like under your right hand down. Left arm comes up. Option to lift that left leg. Hold it for the exhale. Release that left leg if you had it lifted. Rise back up. Use your core. Arms overhead. Exhale. Release your left hand down the left side. Right arm overhead. Inhale to rise. Give me one cactus. Bend your elbows. Lift your gaze. Deep exhale. Inhale to rise. Hands through heart center and gently fold forward, coming back to your tabletop. From here, gently release your left knee under your left hip and then draw a few circles with your left knee. And then reverse that direction. Releasing your left knee under your left hip. Maybe patter out those toes. All right, right hand reaches up high. Deep inhale. Exhale, reach it under and through the left side body. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, reach your right arm all the way under and through. Maybe releasing your right ear or cheek to the floor. You're welcome to extend that left arm long out in front. If you like to open up your left shoulder, you can bind it around towards your right hip. Hold it for one more breath. If you have your left arm extended or binded, release it back down under your left shoulder. Inhale, rise, right arm high. Exhale, release your right hand underneath your right shoulder. From here, we're going to extend that right leg straight back. Deep inhale. Exhale, draw it under towards your elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, tuck it over the left side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, draw it over the left side. Once more, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee to elbow, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hold it here. Few breaths. Same options. To lessen that sensation, you can rock to your toes, gently rocking forward. To deepen that sensation, you can gently press your heel towards the floor. Maybe noticing how one side may feel different. Deep inhale, swing that right leg all the way over from your right hip, coming into gated pose. The inside of your right foot is sealed. Tuck your left toes, press your hips back. And forward one more time. Press the hips back. And forward. Gently untuck your left toes and press your hips back. Maybe bringing your forehead towards the floor, maybe walking your arms out long in front. That right leg is still extended. Hold it for the exhale. Inhale, bring your hands towards your knees. Rise up. Sweep your arms up high overhead. Option to place a block under your left hand to the floor, or a block. Right arm high. Option to lift that right leg. Holding and breathing. If you have that right leg lifted, go ahead and release it back down. Inhale to rise. Exhale, release your right hand down your right leg. Left bicep to left ear. Inhale, rise, use your abs, arms overhead, give me one cactus, bend the elbows, lift your gaze. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, hands to heart center, forward fold. Go ahead and draw that right knee back in line with your right hip. Keeping that knee bent, give me a few circles with your right knee. Of course, what you do in one direction, just reverse it. Gently releasing your right knee under your right hip. Tuck your toes, bring your hands up, palm print forward, lifting your hips, coming to our first downward facing dog. Pedal your heels, lifting and lowering one at a time. Lifting both heels high, gently lower them over to the left side. They don't have to touch the floor. Inhale, lift your heels. This time lower them over to the right side. Inhale, lift, pedal them back to the center. Inhale your right leg high, three-legged dog. Biceps frame your ears. Bend your right knee, stack your right hip, circle out your right ankle. Maybe gaze under your left arm towards your right toes. Inhale, square out your hips. Right leg kick straight back. Draw your right knee to your right elbow. Kick it back. Right knee to nose. Kick it back. Right knee to left elbow. Kick it back. Tuck your knee in towards your chest, round your back. Step through. Hold it here for the exhale. Inhale to rise. Coming into high crescent. Your back heel is lifted. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward. Arms swing back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sweep back. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hold it, hinge forward. Arms sweep back. Sweep your arms forward. So you're in a warrior three arm position. We're going to pivot the back left toes. We open up that left arm, coming into warrior two. Deep bend to your front right knee. Arms are straight. Give me two lifts. Deep inhale, arms overhead, straighten that front right leg. Exhale, bend. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Hold it here. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Tuck your left hand behind your back or down your left leg, right bicep to right ear. Come through extended side angle, right hand to your right knee. Maybe to the floor. You can hover it in front, hover it forward. Straighten that front right leg as you draw that left arm overhead, coming in triangle. You can also have a block here under your right hand or just hover it. Exhale, reverse your triangle. Keep the legs straight. Exhale, cartwheel down towards your right foot. Both toes are facing the same direction that you're looking. We're going to rise up as we step the left foot forward, coming to chair. Pulse it for 3, 2, and 1. Gently rise up, forward fold. Half lift, hands to shins, crown your head towards the wall in front of you. Forward fold. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows, you can sway side to side. I'm just going to turn so I can face you all. Come back through center, release your hands down towards the floor. Gently roll up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Sweep your arms up high. From here, draw your right knee up. Standing single leg mountain. Bend your elbows, cactus your arms, open your hip. And draw it in line. Open, we're gonna hold it here. We're gonna come into tree. You can place that right foot inside of your left thigh, your left calf, your left ankle, or your foot. Just avoid the left knee. Arms can stay overhead. You can bind your arms behind your back, lifting your chest. You can also sway your tree branches, challenging your balance. Come back to staying single leg mount. Flex your right toes. Gently plant your right foot. Forward fold, swan dive. Half lift, hands to shins. Back to a forward fold. Step or hop your feet back. Coming into downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. Come into high plank. Lower down for 3, 2, and 1. Once you come all the way down, untuck your toes. Give me 1 mini cobra. Release down, walk your hands toward your rib cage, press up, full cobra. Tuck your toes, come through tabletop or directly to downward facing dog. Come back to your breath. Pedal your heels. All right, let's repeat that same sequence on the left side. Lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Biceps frame your ears. Bend your left knee, stack your left hip. Maybe circle out your left ankle. Maybe looking out under your right arm towards your left toes. Square out your hips, extend your left leg straight back, flex your toes. Draw your knee to your left elbow. Kick it back. Knee to nose. Kick it back. Knee to right elbow. Kick it back. Tuck your knee to your chest, round your spine. Step your foot between your palms. Find your focus, find your breath. Full exhale. Inhale, rise. High crescent. Back heel is lifted. Exhale, hinge forward, arms sweep back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hinge. One more time. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hinge. Hold the hinge forward, sweep your arms around in front. We're going to pivot the back right toes, opening the right arm up into warrior two. Maintain that bend in the front left knee. Relax your shoulders down. Inhale, lengthen the left leg. Exhale, bend. Trying to bend deeper. Last time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Hold it here in warrior two. Find your focus. Reverse your warrior. Tuck your right hand behind your back or down your right leg. High five that wall behind you. Gaze up. Come through extended side angle. Left hand to left thigh. Right bicep to right ear. Pressing past your left toes. Maybe hover that left arm. Maybe draw it in front. Hold it on the exhale. Inhale, lengthen that right arm high. Left leg straight. Left arm down. You can also keep your left hand on a block. Inhale, rise, reverse your triangle. Tuck your right hand behind your back, high five that wall behind you. Pivot, facing your right toes, coming back into high crescent. We're going to step that right foot forward, coming into chair. Pulse it down for 3, 2, and 1. From here, rise up, single leg mountain, left knee is lifted, arms stay overhead, left toes are flexed, bend your elbows, open up your hip, inhale, lift, exhale, open the hip, hold it here. You have your tree options inside your right leg, your right calf, ankle, or on the floor. You can maintain your arms overhead, you can bring your hands to heart center. Option to bind your hands. You can also come into cow face arms, right hand back, left arm up, or reverse. Holding and breathing. Come back to standing mountain. Left knee lifts. Release your left foot, swan dive forward, forward fold. Half lift, hands to shins, crown of your head towards the wall in front of you. Back to a forward fold. Let your neck hang nice and loose. Step or hop back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. Come into high plank, rock forward. Lower down for 3, elbows stay tucked in. 2 and 1. Once you get there, untuck your toes. Give me 1 mini cobra. Release down. This time, extend your left arm directly out from your left shoulder. Keep your right hand boxed out directly under your right shoulder. Relax your left leg. Lift your right leg high and drawing that right knee up and over the outside of your left hip. Maybe extending that right leg, opening up your right hip and your left shoulder. You can just gently release your left cheek or ear to the floor. Your next inhale, gently rock forward, coming back to your tummy. Boxing out your left hand under your left shoulder, extend your right arm long out to a T, relax your right leg, lift your left leg high and draw it up and over the outside of your left hip. Allowing your left hip and right shoulder to open. Holding and breathing. Roll back onto your tummy. Plant both of your hands under your shoulders. Press up the 1 mini cobra. Release down. Walk your hands under your rib cage. Press up, full cobra. Come through tabletop. Tuck your toes or come straight to downward facing dog. Lifting up, pedal the heels. All right, let's do that one more time through on each side. Still in downward facing dog, pedaling the heels. Are you going to join me this morning, Lola? All right, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high, 3-legged dog. Bend your right knee, stack your hips, circle out your right ankle. Square out your hips. Draw your knee to your right elbow. Kick it back. Knee to nose. Kick it back. Knee to left elbow. Kick it back. Tuck your knee in towards your nose. Step through. Find your breath. Find your focus. Rise up. High crescent. So we're going to hinge forward twice. Hinge forward. Arms sweep back. Airplane arms. Rise up. Once more. Airplane your arms back. Hold it here. Sweep your arms around in front. Pivot the back left toes. Cartwheel your left arm open. Warrior 2. Give me 1 lift. Inhale and lower. Maintain that bend in your front right knee. Reverse your warrior. High five that wall behind you. Come through extended side angle. Maybe hovering that front arm. You can always place it onto your front thigh. Lift your left arm high, straighten that front right leg. Right arm down, left arm up. Maybe rotate back. We're nice and warm. Reverse your triangle, tuck your left hand back. Right arm overhead. Come back to high crescent, arms overhead. Bend into that front right knee. Step your left foot to meet the right, pulse it down for 2 and 1. Swan dive forward, forward fold. Half lift, hands to shins, or blocks. Back to our forward fold. Gently rise up all the way. Sweep your arms up high. Lift your right knee. From here, open and close. Open, hold it here. Come into tree. Know your options. You can always keep that right foot inside your left leg. Just avoid the left knee. Maybe try different arms. Maybe close one eye. Really challenging your balance. Maybe both. Bring your hands back overhead. Back to staying single leg mountain. Right foot is flexed. Release your right knee. Forward fold. Come right into your down dog, step or hop. Find your high plank. Lower down for 3, 2, and 1. Press up, 1 mini cobra. Release down. Walk your hands back to your ribs. Roll cobra. Tuck your toes. Come through tabletop or directly to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels. All right, let's do that one more time on the left side. Lift your left leg high, 3-legged dog. Bend your left knee, flex your left foot, maybe point flex, circle out that left ankle. Square out your hips, kick that left leg straight back. Left knee to left elbow, kick it back. Left knee to nose, kick it back. Left knee to right elbow, kick it back. Draw your knee in toward your nose, round your spine. Step your left foot in between your palms. Find your focus, catch your breath. Inhale to rise. Shoulders stacked over your hips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward, arms swing back. One more time, inhale, rise. Exhale, swing the arms back. Hold the hinge forward, draw your arms around in front. Pivot your back right toes, open up, warrior 2. Hold it here for a breath. Full exhale. Inhale, lift, arms overhead, straighten that front left leg. Exhale, bend into warrior 2. Maintain that bend, your front left knee. Reverse your warrior. Tuck your right hand behind your back or down your right thigh. High five that wall behind you. Come through extended side angle, left hand to your left thigh, right bicep to right ear. You can also hover your left arm or draw it in front. Draw your right arm overhead, straighten your front left leg, left arm reaches down. Holding and breathing. Maybe rotate that right shoulder open. With that left leg straight, reverse your triangle. Draw your right hand behind your back, left arm overhead. Cartwheel, come back to your high crescent, pivot your right toes. Step your right foot to meet the left. Pulse it here for 2. And 1, swan dive, forward fold. Half lift, hands to shins. Forward fold. Gently rise up. All the way, 1 vertebrae at a time. Sweep your arms up high. Draw that left knee up. Hold it here for a breath. Exhale, open your hip, bend your elbows. Inhale, draw everything back in line. Exhale, open. Hold it here. You can place that left foot inside of your right thigh, coming to tree. The inside of your right ankle, right calf. Maybe close your eyes. Hold it here for 1 more breath. Come back to staying single leg mountain. Flex your left toes. Release your left foot down to your hip. Swan dive forward. Half lift. Hands to shins. Step or hop, coming back to downward facing dog. Pedal your heels. All right, let's cool it down. All right, lift your right leg high, 3-legged dog. Draw your right knee towards your right breast, coming into half pigeon. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can come onto your back and come into a figure 4 position. Just drawing that right knee cross over your left, or holding it here in pigeon. You can walk your hands back towards your hips, untuck your left toes, rise up. You can also fold forward, coming onto blocks or just gently onto your forearms. Maybe rock side to side. If you'd like to thread the needle in half pigeon, left arm sweeps up, under and through the right side body, maybe placing your left ear or cheek to the floor. Bring your hands back under your shoulders, tuck your right toes, sweeping your right leg back. You're welcome to hold it here. You can bend your right knee, stacking your hips, or come into Wild Thing, flip your dog, pressing your hips forward, right arm overhead. If you have your dog flip, go ahead and come back to downward facing dog, pedal the heels. Lift your left leg high, three-legged dog. Draw your left knee in towards your left wrist. Sweeping your right leg back. You can also come onto your back into that figure four position. Come here. You can walk your hands up towards your midline, gazing up, looking up, opening up your hips. If you'd like, you can fold forward. My husband's packing up the car. We're getting ready to go out of town, so he took the luggage out, so she's freaking out. But she's coming with us. All right, hold it here in half pigeon, maybe rock side to side. If you'd like to thread the needle on this side, sweep your right arm high. Exhale, reach your right arm under and through the left side body. Maybe just releasing your right ear or cheek to the floor if that's comfortable for you. Tuck your right toes, sweep your left leg back, three-legged dog. You can bend that left knee or swing that left leg back. Tuck it behind you, coming into Wild Thing. Pressing your hips lifted, left arm back. You have your dog flipped, go ahead and come back. Facing down towards the floor, pedal the heels. Hold it here for a breath. All right, from downward facing dog, we're going to do one more little flow. We're going to come through upward facing dog, untuck the toes, lift the gaze, tuck your toes, come through tabletop or directly downward facing dog. We're just flowing between downward dog and upward facing dog. You are more than welcome to come through tabletop in between. It'll look like so, tabletop, lift your hips, bend your knees, come back through tabletop, untuck your toes, release your hips down. Let's do that 2 more times. Downward facing dog, upward facing dog. All right, come back to downward dog. Bend your knees, release your knees gently down. We're gonna come into sleeping side deer. So just bring your left hip to the floor, bring your left knee directly in front of your left hip, and then draw your right knee to the sole of your left foot. So your legs are staggered, kind of like a pretty little design. From here, and just gently lay down. You can box out that left arm. You can draw it behind you if you want more of that shoulder stretch. You can also draw it out in front and just holding. You can stack your top palm over your bottom. If you like, you can also stack your legs or you can stagger. If you have your palms stacked right over left and you like to open up the right shoulder, keep your left shoulder in contact with that floor. Left palm stays down. Open up your right arm, open it up to the side, and then releasing it back down. Move up so I have a little bit more room. Opening it up, maybe coming all the way up, maybe you tap your right fingertips towards the wall and then coming back. Your left hip and left shoulder staying planted into the floor. Give me one more. And then come back. Gently press yourself up to a seated position, and we're just going to switch sides. So bringing your right hip to the floor. You can release your right shoulder down, extending your right arm out in front. You can also just use your arm like a pillow, or how we did in our hip and shoulder stretches, you can keep that right hand back. If you have that right arm forward and you would like to open up your left shoulder, keep your right hip and right shoulder down, open up your left arm, maybe tap your fingernails to the floor, coming back. 2 more here. You can stagger or stack your legs. Open. Once more. Here, gently pressing yourself up, coming to a seated position. Grab one block. Your knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor, feet are hip width apart and parallel, block between your palms, what I call Frankenstein arms. We're going to roll back. Use your lower abs, draw your navel into your spine. We're rolling back slow and controlled. Think the slower, the better. Rolling all the way back. One vertebrae at a time. Go slower or faster. Once you release your shoulders down, release your head down flat on the floor. Tap that block overhead. We are going to do it one more time. Tap the block, draw the block back overhead. Slow and controlled roll up. This time using your upper abs. Rolling up slow and controlled. Try to keep your feet grounded to the floor. Once you stack your shoulders over your hips, draw that block overhead. Bring that block forward. We're going to roll back last time. Slow and controlled, rolling all the way back. The slower the better. All the way down. Releasing your shoulders, releasing your head, block overhead, and then tap. Set that block off to the side. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Curl yourself into a tiny ball. Grabbing opposite wrists, maybe opposite elbows. You can grab your shins or the back side of your thighs, maybe rolling side to side. Your knees still into your chest, still with that bind. Release your shoulders down to the floor. Extend your feet up towards the ceiling, grabbing the outside of your feet, or continuing to hold the back side of your thighs for happy baby. Maybe rolling side to side. Any options here, you are more than welcome to hold it just where you're at. You can come into ninja baby, extending one, bending the other, and then switching. Maybe come into a wide leg straddle. Drawing the soles of the feet together. Draw your knees back in towards your chest. Let's start with the left side. Keep your left knee in towards your left shoulder. Extend your right leg, flex your right toes. If you like an active stretch, you can hover that right leg and hover your shoulders, tucking your chin to your chest, or just relax your shoulders down and your right foot down. Point, flex, circle out that left foot. If your shoulders and right foot are lifted, go and lower them down to the floor. Release your left hand by your side, grabbing the outside of your left knee with your right hand. Gently pull your left knee across the side body over to the right. Gently gazing, looking over your left shoulder. Supine twist, maybe extending your left arm out to a broken T. You can also bend your left arm, finger pads facing up towards the ceiling. Come back to center. Left knee stays tucked in towards your left shoulder. Draw a few circles here with your left hip. And then draw your right knee in, left leg long. Same options, right knee avoiding your rib cage, so drawing it up towards your right shoulder. Flex your left toes. If you'd like an active stretch, hover your left leg, hover your shoulders, tucking your chin into your chest, or you can keep your shoulders down to the floor, left calf pressed in towards the floor. You can point, flex, rotate your ankle on the right side. Then lower your shoulders in your left leg if you have them lifted. With your left hand, grab the outside of your right knee, release your right hand by your hip, and gently pull your right knee over towards the left side of your body. Gazing, looking over your right shoulder without forcing it. Maybe extend your right arm out to a T. You can bend your right arm, palm facing up, trying to keep both shoulders in towards the floor. Come back through center. Draw your right knee in towards your right shoulder. Draw a few circles. Draw both knees in towards your chest. Release your feet flat on the floor, knees are bent. Grab that block, and on its lowest setting, lift your hips, placing that block under your hips. On its lowest setting, and just letting your hips fall into that block. You can release your legs one at a time, or both, noticing how that feels with your hips. Gently bend your knees if you have them extended, lifting one leg at a time up towards the ceiling. Support, legs up the wall, point, flex, circle out your wrists, circle out your ankles. Everything moving, all class, bright and early. Gently bend your knees one at a time or both together, feet flat on the floor. Press your hips up or move that block, set it off to the side, and then extending your legs long, heels to touch, toes fall open, arms by your side, palms facing up. Squeeze your toes, your calves, your thighs, your glutes. Squeeze your shoulder blades, clench your fist, draw your shoulders up towards your ears, and then relax everything. Just letting go, coming back to your breath. Maybe wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers. Draw your knees in towards your chest, curl yourself into a ball. Gently roll to the left or right side, coming into fetal position. New beginnings. Maybe just resting your bottom ear on your lower arm. Top arm boxed out, gently press yourself up, coming to a comfortable seat of your choice. You can also have a seat on a block if you'd like to open up your hips more. Sweep your arms up high overhead. Bend your elbows, lift your gaze, cactus. Once more, inhale, lift your gaze, arms overhead. Bend your elbows, arms overhead. Exhale, release your left hand to your right knee. Right hand comes behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, release your right hand to your left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist deeper, looking over your left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen, arms overhead. Release your right hand down, left arm to left ear. And then sway to the other side, left arm down. Gently rise up, arms overhead. Hands to heart center. Fantastic work this morning. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me today in each and every class. Hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. Namaste.